Long before modern architects learned to build storm-proof homes, Filipino ancestors had already mastered it. They designed houses that bent with the wind, floated in floods, and stayed cool under the tropical sun, all using bamboo, nipa, and wisdom passed down through generations. These were not just homes. They were living examples of how Filipinos built in harmony with nature. When a typhoon hits the Philippines today, it often leaves destruction in its path. But centuries ago, our ancestors built homes so resilient that when storms came, the houses swayed, yet rarely fell. They understood something many engineers rediscovered only recently, that survival doesn't come from fighting nature, but from moving with it. This is the forgotten story of the ancient Filipino houses, masterpieces of design born from simplicity, balance, and deep respect for the environment. When people imagine traditional Filipino homes, one image stands above all: the Bahay Kubo. Light, airy, and raised on stilts, it's often called a nipa hut, but to our ancestors, it was much more than that. It was an engineered shelter designed perfectly for the Philippines' weather, a home that could breathe, bend, and survive. Let's look closer. The Bahay Kubo stood on stilts, or haligi, usually made from hardwood or sturdy bamboo. This design lifted the house above floodwater, kept the floor dry, and allowed air to flow underneath, cooling the entire structure naturally. The walls were woven from sawali, which are split bamboo mats. This design allowed air to pass through while still providing much-needed shade. Its steep thatched roof, made from nipa palm or kogan grass, was cleverly designed to let rain run off quickly. But here's the real brilliance. Because it was lightweight, the Bahay Kubo didn't resist strong winds. Instead, it moved with them. When typhoons came, the structure would sway slightly, releasing the force of the wind rather than breaking under it. And if ever destroyed, it could be rebuilt within days, using only natural materials gathered from nearby forests and fields. Isn't that just amazing? Everything about the Bahay Kubo was intentional. Its large windows opened on all sides, creating a cross-ventilation system that cooled the interior without electricity. Its open space beneath, called silong, served as storage, workspace, or shelter for animals. In coastal villages, the floor planks were spaced slightly apart so that wind could flow upward. In mountainous areas, thicker bamboo or rattan was used for insulation. It was sustainable, affordable, and perfectly suited for the tropical climate. Even Spanish friars who came in the 1500s marveled at these designs. They wrote in their journals that native homes were simple, yet ingenious, well ventilated and capable of surviving storms. When the Spanish arrived, they introduced stone and brick construction for churches and government buildings, but Filipinos adapted, merging native engineering with foreign materials. Thus emerged the Bahay na Bato, or, House of Stone. At first glance, it looks colonial, but its soul, honestly, remained Filipino. Its lower floor was made of coral stone or adobe for protection, while the upper level was still built from wood and bamboo. This allowed the house to withstand floods while keeping the living space cool and airy. Large Capiz shell windows replaced wooden slats, reflecting light while letting wind flow freely. The wide ventanillas, or those small openings below the windows, provided extra ventilation. Architects today call it hybrid tropical architecture, but centuries ago it was just common sense, a perfect blend of adaptation and identity. In places like Vigan, Intramuros, and Iloilo, these houses still stand today, proof that Filipino craftsmanship could last generations. While the Bahay Kubo ruled the lowlands, in the far north, another kind of genius was born. While the Bahay Kubo ruled the lowlands, in the far north, another kind of genius was born. The Ivatan people of Batanes lived in one of the harshest environments in the Philippines, battered constantly by typhoons and ocean winds. Their solution: They built homes that could endure storms that would flatten others. Ivatan houses were made of limestone, coral, and thick stone walls with heavy kogan roofs tied tightly to resist gales. The walls could be over half a meter thick, strong enough to withstand both wind and time. These homes were small, sturdy, and deeply rooted in the earth, designed to stay grounded no matter how fierce the weather became. When typhoons swept through the islands, locals would gather inside these stone shelters and wait safely until the skies cleared. Many of these homes are over 100 years old and still standing. To the Ivatans, architecture was not just about design, it was about survival. Modern science now calls bamboo a green building material, but, ancient Filipinos already knew this centuries ago. Bamboo was flexible, renewable, and strong, just perfect for earthquakes and high winds. It could be cut, shaped, and joined without nails, using only rattan and natural pegs. Studies show that bamboo's tensile strength rivals steel, and its ability to sway without breaking is what made Filipino houses so durable. Every part of the bamboo was used. The outer shell for floors and walls, the hollow core for water pipes, and even the tips for roof frames. It was both sustainable and sacred, honestly, a gift from nature that allowed humans to live within it, not above it. Ancient Filipino architecture wasn't just about the materials, it was about Bayanihan, the spirit of community. Ancient Filipino architecture wasn't just about the materials, it was about Bayanihan, the spirit of community. When a family needed to move their Bahay Kubo, neighbors would gather, lift the house on their shoulders using bamboo poles, and carry it to its new location. This wasn't just practical, it was cultural. It showed that homes weren't possessions, they were part of the living fabric of society. That spirit made communities resilient, not just their houses. Each region of the Philippines developed its own unique architectural genius. The Maranao Torogan House in Mindanao, massive wooden beams carved with colorful ochre patterns, serving as both home and symbol of prestige. The Ifugao Bale House in the Cordilleras, compact huts, built above rice terraces, resting on 4 sturdy posts with rat guards called oliang to protect harvests. The Tausug House in Sulu, built over water with elevated floors, designed for sea tides and ventilation. The Mangyan and Ita shelters, lightweight forest huts easily dismantled and rebuilt with the seasons. Every design, though different in form, shared the same philosophy: build with nature, not against it. Historical travelers often recorded how impressed they were by the engineering of Filipino houses. Historical travelers often recorded how impressed they were by the engineering of Filipino houses. In the 1600s, Spanish missionaries noticed that many houses actually survived earthquakes and typhoons that destroyed stone buildings. One friar even wrote, "Their houses sway and return, ours crack and fall." British visitors during the 18th century remarked that nipa and bamboo homes were, as they put it, the most suited dwellings ever seen in the tropics. It's kind of ironic that centuries later, modern architecture began rediscovering those same principles: lightweight materials, natural airflow, and flexibility. Today, architects and engineers are studying traditional Filipino homes to design climate-resilient housing for the future. In a warming world of stronger typhoons and rising floods, ancient wisdom offers modern solutions. The Bahay Kubo's design, elevated floors, steep roofs, natural airflow, is now considered a model for sustainable tropical architecture. Even eco-resorts across Asia are borrowing these principles: open plans, local materials and structures that breathe instead of trap heat. Our ancestors didn't have blueprints or machines. They had observation, adaptation, and respect, the purest forms of intelligence. What makes these ancient houses extraordinary is that they were built for generations, not profit. What makes these ancient houses extraordinary is that they were built for generations, not profit. They didn't scar the land, they blended with it. They didn't trap the wind, they danced with it. And when time came for them to return to the earth, they did so gracefully, without waste, without harm. You know, in their simplicity lies a sophistication that modern technology still struggles to match. The ancient Filipino houses remind us of something deeper than architecture. They tell a story of harmony between people, environment, and community. When storms came, they didn't ask how to resist, they asked how to survive together. Every swaying bamboo wall, every raised floor, every nipa roof was an act of wisdom, proof that Filipino ancestors were engineers of the soul as much as of the home. And maybe, if we listen to their designs again, we'll remember that the strongest house is not the one made of concrete. The stam den, pontik stam, but then ni, but damat, the one built in balance with nature, and in unity with one another.